Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Hello, and welcome to another Star Wars Build Your Own X-Wing from DeAgostini partwork video build. What? It always goes wrong, like more coffee. These things go wrong within words, I tell you. Anyway, yes, welcome to the next exciting, enthralling issue of Build Your Own X-Wing. We are doing issue 53 in Gefahren. And as always, we're carrying on with the wing. We're building the fourth wing now, I think. It's been a while. We've got more wingy bits. This is the bit where the engine goes. And let's have a quick look at the magazine before we crack on with the building. So we start off with more Force Awakens. And more discussion of the design of the TIE fighters, the First Order TIE fighters, and how big they were and what they looked like. Again, like I said in the last episode, not that interesting to me personally because I'm more of a model maker information. I want to know how they made the models, but these are all CGI, so it's more about design, which a lot of you may enjoy, but to me it's not that interesting. But a lot more information on those and other similar designs. I do like the way the wings fold. That's quite nice. Then we have some information on R2-D2, everyone's favourite droid. Now, Class 6 escape pod. Did you know, if I remember correctly, I could have this wrong, it was made from a KFC bucket and some of the bits and bobs they just cobbled together in like a day. It was made in like a day on a budget of pence or dollars. It really was kind of dirt cheap. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I don't know if it talks about it here. I've not read these. I've only had a quick look through. But yeah, I love the way they make those things. Just dead simple. Some more information about R2. And again, we have the quick overview of a detail about the ship, and this time it's the engine mounts. It says the T-65's engine mounts had a tough job to do. Not only did the mounts carry the weight of the power units and the thrust they generated, but they also supported the wings and the actuating mechanism. As if that wasn't enough, the lower mounts even had to support the weight of the whole craft when it landed on its undercarriage. There's nothing worse than landing on your undercarriage too harsh, it really hurts. And then, of course, we get to the buildy part, which is what we're going to do now. So it's bits of frame for the engines area. Let's crack on. Okay, so big chunky bits for this issue. We've got obviously this part of the wing here, little details and some more screwage. We've got some XW02s and some XW03s. So the first thing to do, as always, is get them into the little plastic box of happiness. Tidy them away. So we've got the XW03s. Get them in there. Bit. There we go. That's them away safe. There's a magpie on my window ledge again. I can hear it scrabbling about. Could be the squirrel, of course. I don't know yet. We've got the XW02s, which go into the box full of XW02s. Who'd have thunk it? There we go. I do recommend you get yourself one of these little tidies. It just makes life so much easier. So, what do we need to do? So what we're doing is we're basically making the mounting. This is the engine mounting that sits on the wing like that. Or like that, I think. That way around. See how big these things are going to get. So we need to basically do some greebles first and then get it all assemblated. So we will need, first and foremost, to make this part here. Now I need my flippy down lenses, so let's have a look. Now I've zoomed out a little bit here so you can see what's going on when I get to the big bits. Does mean, of course, you might struggle to see the little bits. So, little tiny piece here, coloured on that side, bare plastic there. Little sticky up knobbly bits, coloured on that side, bare plastic. You know where this goes. There's a big one and a small one, and they go around that way. Now this is often quite a tricky little fit, but for some reason, with this issue, these last couple of 3 issues I've been doing, they've gone together really nicely. So that goes in there. I'll quickly hold them in place like that, and then I'll get some glue. Again, you don't need to do any of the gluing. Gluing is not required. I'm just being extra cautious because I will need to sell this at some point when it's finished. I don't want it to fall apart. There we go, that's that. together, and then I drop it again, which is the finishing touch. Again, if you're wanting to do any gluing on this kit, it is made of ABS. Your regular Tamiya paints will not work. Make sure to use an ABS compliant glue, such as Plastic Magic. Now this needs to slot into here. No biggie. If I could drop, tell you what I could do. If I could keep dropping it, that'd be brilliant. Thanks. This needs to go in here. You can see there the little recess, perfectly shaped for it, and the little pin sticking out the back. So that just goes in there like that. So again, it doesn't really matter if those bits don't fit in really well, because they'll get pushed in now when you do this bit. That goes in there. I'm gonna get my little needle nose pliers again, just to push it down, just to make absolutely sure. Not bothered if I mess up the paint job, because that's going to get painted over. Just don't want to mess up any little details. That's in, and then I'll give that a touch of glue again just to lock it into place. You don't need to, but I am. Now you have to be careful when you're gluing stuff on like this. Obviously when you're gluing something together, for the love of dog, and I can't stress this enough, make sure it's not something that you need to take off later on to fit a wire through, or something that you need to be able to remove to fit something else around it. Make sure it's just a simple plant-on detail, as they call them, or a gribble like that, that doesn't affect anything and doesn't matter if it's glued in place now. If it's something critical that you might need to take apart later on, don't glue it. Obs. Right, so that's there. So next we have fit the bracket on the back of the leading edge support. Okay. It requires that you know the phrase leading edge. So, fit the bracket on the back of the leading edge support to the engine mount in this position, which is there, and which is... Oh, not that metal bit at all, you spoon. Yes, it fits. You can see how it fits. It fits together like that. It goes there like that. Peg and a hole. Peg goes into that hole. Sits there like that. Now it is a weird fit, these things, because the peg doesn't come through the hole a lot. It just sits in there. That wraps around there like that, and we need to screw this in place using an O2 screw. T-Mobile screws and Verizon screws are available on request. It's a joke. Never mind, that was a rubbish joke. I shall get my little driver of screwing. Meh. I do like the screwdriver that comes with this build because it's magnetic, but for some of the screws I do prefer the one that came with the Millennium Falcon because it's just a bit better of a quality screwdriver. So we're going to screw that in. This is a single screw in a single piece, so I can go ahead and get quite tight with it. Normally if you've got, say, something that's held in place by 4 or 5 screws, you do them gently and then work them around in clockwise or anti-clockwise. You go around them, tightening them up bit by bit. You wouldn't do one tight first. But this is one screw, so it doesn't really matter. Don't need to glue that because the screw's going to hold it in place. There we go. The support should now look like this. Yes, it does look like that. Look at that. Looks fabulous, darling. It's a little weird that it's not that isn't parallel to that. It's like a chamfered angle. Apparently that's supposed to be the way it is. So who knew? Next, what's next? Align the wing and the engine mount. Now you can see why I've moved the camera out a bit here. Align the wing like that, and engine mount, which is like there to see. Fit the parts together so the 5 holes indicated line up with the lugs on the engine mount. No, I don't know. I'm just looking at the wrong thing, aren't I? Those, okay. Those holes there line up. You know how it goes together. You can see it going. I can just make it up. There you go. That lines up like that. Like this, it says. Yes, it is like that, completely, except mine's a different colour. Fit the parts together with XWO2 screws in all 5 holes indicated. So, in that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So 5 O2 screws. I'm going to put these over here where they're easier for me to get to. So 1 O2. So I'll show you what I meant about going round them in a minute. I can show you here now. So I'll put 1 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 little turns. one in there. The reason you do this, I'll explain. When you're going around like this, you don't do the first one super tight. You don't do the first one super tight and then the next one super tight. You don't do it that way because you don't want to stress anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. What you want to do is just, the first step is just to get the screws in place. That's all you want to do. Third screw, dip, dip, 3, 4. Just to get the screws in place, everything's sticking together. And there. On there. Apologies if all you're seeing is the back of my hand. It is the downside of trying to film doing screwing. I'll rephrase that. So there we go, that is that in there. Now, like I say, you don't want to just go straight in with the first one screwed in place tightly, because that will push this bit down and lift that bit up, and you might then get fit issues. But also, you don't want to put a lot of stress on one side and have to then stress it back. If you go around it slowly, gradually tightening up like this, you can stress the plastic as equally as possible across the surface. You're kind of levelling out the stressing. It's really hard for me to do this without just filming the back of my hand. So I'm just going to go around and just slowly tighten these up. I'm limited by this little screwdriver as to how tight it can go, because it just tends to slip after a little bit. But it just means you get an even pressure on the pieces of plastic across all the surface. There we go, that's lovely. You do want to be quite tight with these, because this is a big heavy wing and you don't want it doing the flippity flappity when it's doing the designed flippity flappity. So there we go, that's them. Just make them as tight as I can. It's with this screwdriver, it's a bit past finger tight, which is fine, it'll be fine. There we go, so that's nice and even now. They're all nice and tight. It's not wibbly wobbling, well, not too much. And it looks pretty good. So that's that bit. And align the engine mount with the assembly. The assembly. Put the lid on my... I'm wary of having my screw box over there because I'm going to knock it. I can sense myself knocking it. Now, you remember in the last episode I was kind of talking rubbish for 10 minutes. Coffee. I'm kind of doing the same again. I'm just dribbling words out my mouth. So I do apologise. It's a long time since I've done live recording where I'm talking and doing stuff at the same time and recording the audio live. Normally I do pre-recording stuff and then I do voiceovers and I can get everything nice. But this is weird. I'm old now and it's hard to do just constant dribble of words without messing them up. So, this goes like that, you see. So that lines up there. That lines up across there. Lovely. Bit of a tight fit on this end, but just give it a good push down. So we want X02s in those two. Just happen to have two screws there, one on the other. I do like the fact you get a billion spare screws. That's a very good thing that they've done. One in there. And I'll do another one. Clunk. Apologies if all you get is the back of my hand or the back of my head, or it's really quite hard to film this. Wait till it starts getting really big and I'll have a nightmare trying to film. All you see is the side of my face. So again, we'll get these two in and I'll do them bit by bit and balance them out. These are going into big mountain lugs. No, mounting lugs, not mountain lugs. Folks, use the right words. See, I'm talking rubbish. I do apologise for talking rubbish. You wouldn't have me any other way. If I just sat here and said, now I am screwing this in, it is very exciting, you'd be bored. I didn't just talk dribble for 5 minutes. Yeah, coordination, getting the hole. It's because, the reason I'm kind of going like this is because my eyesight's not great and I'm trying to... And if I put my flippy flappy lenses on, I can't see because it's all blurred. And if I take them off, I'm so used to looking through the lenses, it's all blurred. I can't win. Now I've got two XW03 screws to go into these two. So XW03, a couple of those. That's one. And now if you watch my very dear friend Chris over at Gross Models, he does this build as well. And he's an horologist. He does clock and watch repairs and stuff for a living. So he knows what he's doing with screwdrivers and little tiny screws and things. He does this a lot more gracefully than I do. I'm a ham-fisted chud. Absolute ham-fisted chud. And I've got no building skills whatsoever. So, yeah, don't expect Chris level building skills from my build. That's why you should watch both of us, because he does it differently to me. He does it like with competence. I do it without competence. Right, there we go. So that is this issue 53 completed. It says, you will start building the sublight engine onto the engine mount in the next few steps. Yes, tubing time. So there we go. That's that bit done. As always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, of course, to please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss any out. We'll be back tomorrow or Monday if this is Friday. I don't know when this goes live. With the next issue, issue 54. Don't forget, if you'd like to keep this channel alive and support it and keep it going, please do consider becoming a patron or a channel member by going to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and becoming a patron there. Or you can just click the join button at the bottom of any YouTube video or live stream I do on my channel, and it will let you become a YouTube member. Either way, you get access to content early and ad-free and exclusively in some cases, and you can support the channel and keep it alive and keep me doing this for my living. So big thank you to all my patrons and channel members. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. Don't forget there's a link in the description below the video for this part work if you want to get it for yourself. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios amoebas. More coffee. More... Oh, the stuff of life.